Welcome. If it is your first time, welcome back. If it is not your first time, who is she? Do we know her? Is she still doing this thing? When she feels like it. So here I am. I don't even know what to say. I'm not going to try to justify why I've been gone for the better part of this year. Life just lifes. And like I have said, this is not like YouTube is a love of mine, but it's not my livelihood, and that is what it is. So here I am. I have felt really inspired to film this for actually quite a while, for a couple of weeks. I've been wanting to film this, but I just now have kind of a fraction of time to do so. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call this video, but I was inspired by Hope Mess Tom. I was getting ready a couple of weeks ago and stumbled across one of his videos. It was kind of clickbaity, so I clicked on it, but I'm glad I did because he did such a good job of just perfectly articulating kind of how I feel about about my makeup collection in general, particularly my eyeshadows. But he admitted that he kind of hawked his video idea from Hannah Louise Poston, who I am subscribed to, but if I'm being honest, I really don't watch a ton of her content. So I don't know like what her thoughts were on this video. I don't know like what her reasoning was for doing it, but he essentially just kind of talked about how he is kind of in a different space with his eyeshadows than he has been in the past. And he's finding that, he's preferring to do his eye looks a little bit differently lately. And if you've been here for a long time, I have discussed that as well, probably for over a year now at this point. But yeah, that's just kind of how I feel. And I think that there's a lot of things that factor into that. I think that just in general, like life is different. These past few years, I'm finding that I am kind of interested in other things. I'm like wanting to spend time and money doing other things, not just pouring it into makeup. So that's one thing. And also I'm getting older, like makeup will always be something that I love. It'll always be something that I am passionate about, but I'm almost 40 and I've loved makeup since I was a child, and my skin and my preferences and just everything it's different than what it was when I was a teenager and in my 20s and even 5 years ago. It's just different. So that's those are kind of factors that have, been a part of this decision. So I have kind of off screen these last few months, I have decluttered quite a bit of my makeup collection. And if I'm being honest, I could probably get rid of a lot more. I don't necessarily, and again, I've said this before, I don't necessarily need or want to be like a minimalist. I love makeup. I don't mind having a bigger collection, but I am at the point where I'm just being a lot more realistic, and kind of regardless of how much something costs or whatever, if I don't use it, if I don't like it, it's gone. So I have decluttered several eyeshadow palettes. I have gone through my lipstick collection, lip liner collection, gotten rid of a ton of those finally, like things that I've been hanging on to for a decade, right? So I've actually done quite a bit of work on my makeup collection, sort of behind the scenes here. But getting back to the point, sorry, can tell I've been away for months. I'm kind of chatty, but the whole point that Tom was making was that he's in a place, as am I, where just the way that he likes to do his eye makeup, like 90% of the time, for me, it's almost 100% of the time, is like, I I'm not reaching for palettes. Like, I'm really reaching for singles. I want things that are one and done, or I might grab for like a matte in a certain palette, like a neutral matte, and then throw one of my single shadows on. And that's really kind of like all the time and attention that I am willing to devote to an eye look at this point in time. So I'm not gonna lie, there have been times where I have really thought about like getting rid of almost all of my eyeshadow palettes. Like, I really have sat down and started to, you know, kind of putting the if I could only keep 10 palettes kind of video to practice. And I decided not to make any super emotional, rash decisions, okay? And so when I came across this video of Tom's, I thought that it was just such a good kind of practical, more practical solution to the way that I've been feeling. So his plan, and I don't remember exactly what like time frame he put on this. I don't know whether to call it a project or what. I believe he said either for the remainder of this year or like for the next 6 months, so like into early 2024. He has decided that he's going to kind of like shelve his palettes or put them away, so to speak, and really just focus on his singles. Now, of course, there's no like hard and fast rules. If there's a certain day where he like is really feeling a certain look, wanting to use a certain palette, allow yourself to do that. But he really just wants to focus on his singles and like just kind of see how that goes, like see how life is without your eyeshadow palettes, you know, see how you feel, kind of revisit them after so many months without them and see what your thoughts are. So I thought that was a fantastic idea. I mean, again, it avoids me having to make those decisions about my palettes. It kind of alleviates the kind of just the pressure that you put on yourself as a makeup owner. Like, you know, the guilt that I have about my palettes just sitting around, not using them, just, I don't know. I know that's just all kind of in my head. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so that is kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump on the train with him and Hannah and see how it goes. I don't know that I'm trying to decide if I want to give myself a certain time frame. I might just do until like the end of this year. See how I feel. But that's what I'm going to do. And so I thought then that now would be a really good time to delve into my singles collection with you, kind of like show you what that means for me moving forward, like what I will be working with. And that means all of my shadow sticks, potted singles, liquid shadows. I only have one magnetic palette that's full of, you know, my true singles and things that I've like depotted from certain palettes. So I want to do that. I want to jump in and just kind of show you what I will be working with for eyeshadow moving forward. So if that sounds fun, stay tuned. I know this was a lengthy intro, but I do feel like I needed to just kind of say hi and explain to you why we're here, what we're doing. So like, subscribe, all the things. Let's go. Okay, here we are. I tried to get this all in frame as best as possible. I don't have like all of my filming equipment up here in my room, so I have my camera rigged in a very precarious position. So this is essentially all of my singles. I don't know how much you can see, but this is full of potted shadows. I've got some sticks and some other singles, and then obviously this little bit of the palette you can see here is my magnetic palette with all of my singles. So I guess we can just start with what's in here. And I have 4 Auric shadows, which I think is almost everything she sells. I think there's one other, there were 3 of the originals. The black packaging is like her original shadows. These were the holiday release that she had. Okay, so we have, oh gosh, and I have already forgotten. Okay, so Entice is this beautiful olive green. I know that my lighting is not the greatest, but I hope that you can still kind of get an idea of the colors here. You know, it's interesting. I've had the original shades longer, obviously, and they're still like so creamy and smooth and just perfect to use. And the holiday ones actually are starting to feel a little bit dry, like they're kind of drying and like lifting out of the pan a little bit. Entice is this beautiful olive green. Disrupt is this cranberry. The cranberry topper is almost like a duochrome, kind of like champagne-y pink gold. And then we have Ego, which is one of my favorite singles. It's a silver, but it's not like a traditional icy cool silver. It's almost like a more of a neutral silver, just really, really unique. And then Temper is obviously my most used. It's just a really, really beautiful rose gold. So those are my Auric singles. Let's talk Victoria Beckham. These are, I mean, some of my most favorite singles in my collection. They're just, I mean, they're luxury. It's luxury makeup. It feels like luxury makeup. The shades feel luxury. Like there's so much going on. There's so much like dimension in them. So I have 3. I have Tea Rose, Mink, and Velvet, which is one of her newest shades here. So let me get these swatched out for you. So my Victoria Beckham shades here, we have Tea Rose, Mink, and Velvet. Now, Tea Rose is one of those shades that I feel like I had kind of heard the most about. It's kind of like a fan favorite. Everybody loves it. So of course I was like, let me try it. But I'm not gonna lie, it's probably my least favorite out of these 3. And that's saying a lot because I mean, it's gorgeous, right? It's just like this beautiful rose gold, which you know I love. It's like one of my favorite eyeshadow shades. However, Mink and Velvet are so unique and there's so much going on. I mean, despite them being like darker shades and bolder shades, they're so beautiful as one and done shadows because the base, if you blend it out, you can see just like how pretty the base is, right? There's like a darker base going on there. And they're just stunning. Like Velvet is one of my most favorite shades in my whole entire collection. It's so unique. It's like this antique gold, olive, brown. It's stunning. It's so pretty on brown eyes. These are beautiful. Like really can't wait to get some more use out of these. Okay, let's talk Phytosurgeons. So I have 4 of their single shadows. I have Deeply Rooted, Potent Petal, Wild Oak, and Defiant Dahlia. I bought these on several different YouTubers' recommendations. I really do enjoy them. The formula is interesting. It's a little bit different than what I was expecting or kind of my experience with other potted shadows, but let me get these swatched for you because they really are beautiful. Let's talk about these. We have Deeply Rooted, which is really pretty. I don't know how much of it you're gonna be able to see, but it is kind of almost like it's a very cool toned brown with almost like a purple shimmer to it. Really pretty. Potent Petal, I have Wild Oak there, and then Deeply Rooted. So these shadows are unique in the sense that like when I put my finger in there initially, they are not, I guess when I first got them, I was expecting them to be kind of like Super Shocks, right? Like just really, really creamy. And they're not. But once you get your finger in there and like warm it up a little bit, they warm up just fine. And they really are beautiful. This Potent Petal is so lovely as just a all over the lid kind of wash of color. It's like my lids but better. There's not a whole lot of like glitter or sparkle in there. It just has this really beautiful just sheen to it that looks really pretty all over the eyes. Wild Oak, I love. It's just a really classic, pretty kind of like camel brown color, which is always gorgeous. And then Defiant Dahlia probably has the most going on. It's this really pretty brown with like all different kinds of glitter and shimmer running through it. So lovely. I really do enjoy these. And again, I'm really excited to use these more. These work great as bases too, like cream bases for other shadows. Speaking of Super Shocks, let's just do these, get these out of the way. I have 9 Super Shock shadows. And if I'm being honest, I could probably declutter quite a fair amount of these, and who knows, maybe like in the process of me doing this, that's what will end up happening. But let's just get these swatched real quick. Let's talk about these. So starting up here, these 2 are from the Raw Beauty Christie collab, and I used to have all 3 of them. The third one was like, I think it was some sort of coppery shade, which I didn't care for too much. But so we have Mycelium and like a moss. Love these shades. And you guys, I have had all of these aside from these 2. These are only like maybe 2 months old. I have had all of these for so long, like so long, years for some of them, and they still just swatch so beautifully. I mean, that's one of the things I love about the Super Shock shadows. The next 2 are from the Tinkerbell collection. So we have Fly to Your Heart, which is this one, Never Grow Up. We have these, like I said, are the newest to my collection. We have Frog and Ritz. So this is Frog, more of like a purpley pink tone, and then Ritz, so beautiful. I mean, those 2 I'm sure you've seen over and over. They're like cult classics. And then these 3 are from, I believe it was the Wild Child collection. I used to have the palette that went with these. I have since decluttered the palette, but really enjoy the singles. We have Basic Instinct. Oh, so pretty. This one is Run Wild, and then we have Free Reign, like this gorgeous, just deep chocolatey brown. So those are all my Super Shocks. Okay, let's talk about it. Bodyography. I have 3 of their pigments. I love these so much. I think I bought these last year. I forget who recommended them. I went through a phase where I watched like just a ton of videos on people's favorite one and done shadows. I mean, and a lot of people mention these. So I bought 3. They were having a sale when I bought them. I think it was like 20 or 25% off. I have Off the Hook, Flipside, and Solar Flare. So here's those. Off the Hook, which is probably my favorite. It's just this absolutely beautiful, reflective brown, like a little bit more cool leaning of a brown. Just lovely. Love the way it looks all over my lids. Flipside, admittedly, not my favorite shade. While it's beautiful, I probably get the least use out of that. And then Solar Flare, gorgeous, like very vibrant, reflective, like rose gold. Love it. Okay, and then let's just finish off with, these are kind of like just sort of some one-off random singles I have. So I have Charlotte Tilbury, Oyster Pearl. I have MAC Groundwork. This is a Revlon single in caramel, and this is a Jaclyn Hill single. I don't even remember. North Star. I used to have 2 of these. I decluttered one of them. It was really weird, like how different the formulas were in between the 2 that were supposed to be like the same thing, part of the same collection. The formulas were entirely different. And I don't know if that was, maybe that was intended. I don't know. I don't know enough about the release, but let me swatch these. Sorry, swatched these in a different place because my hands have so much glitter on them. But that is Oyster Pearl, Groundwork, that is Caramel, Caramel, and that is the Jaclyn Hill North Star. So pretty. Oyster Pearl is one of those shades. It's like, I don't know, it's just so unassuming, but every single time I wear it, it's stunning. Like, I don't know, you get it on your eyes and it's so lovely. Like, there's so much going on. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's lovely. If you own it, you know. Groundwork, gorgeous, gorgeous, cool toned. I love this as just like a one and done all over my lids. It's so pretty. Caramel I don't use enough. It actually is kind of reminding me, and it's probably not picking up on camera, but it's really reminding me of that Phytosurgeons, like that Wild Oak shade. And then this Jaclyn Hill, I really never use, but wow, it's really pretty. I think this is like one of the last Jaclyn Hill products in my collection. I don't know how I feel about her. She's kind of turned out to be an awful person, hasn't she? So that sucks, but super pretty. I'll keep it for now, get some use out of it because I really don't ever use it. But that's the last of my potted shadows. Okay, my final few swatched out here. I feel like the light is just, I'm so sorry that it's not fantastic, but so this is one of the L'Oreal singles in Amber Rush. I have had this for like over a decade. This is so old, but it performs exactly as the day I first got it. It's beautiful, like this, again, kind of like a rosy gold. I have a type. This is one of those shades that every single time I would wear this, like on the floor as a nurse, at least one person a day would compliment me on it, would ask me what was on my eyes. It's so simple, but so beautiful. This is a product that I feel like is underrated. These Ulta bouncy eyeshadows. I have Italian Ice. Super pretty. Easy to use, easy to blend. This looks amazing all on its own as a one and done, which is typically, actually, it's not typically how I wear it. I usually wear it over something like a liquid shadow. Looks amazing layered, looks amazing all on its own. And then Space Cowboy, I mean, an absolute classic. Obviously the most glittery out of all of these three, which is a look. Some days that is what I'm going for. If I want something like super reflective and dimensional, it's gorgeous. I love it. I mean, obviously I have pan in it. Yeah. So that is those. And then I have just a few more. Let's get into my Charlotte Tilbury. Okay. And lastly here, so we have Emerald Eyes, which is one of my favorite shades. Again, this is a shade I continually get asked what I'm wearing if I wear it out. It's gorgeous. I have Sunlit Diamond. This is Rose Gold. These two are, obviously you can probably tell, decidedly like less textured, but still really pretty. And then these two, this is Diamond Eyes. This is probably the most textured and glittery out of the four that I own, but they're all really pretty, and I feel like special. And I mean, the packaging is gorgeous. So that's it. That's the end of my kind of, you know, singles. So let's get into liquids and sticks. Okay, let's talk kind of liquid cream products. So I have the REM Fembot right there. Super pretty. It's not my favorite formula. It's a little bit drier, but it's gorgeous. I love it. The NYX Ultimate Glow Shots are some of my favorites. This is brand new. It's only a couple weeks old. I think I've only used it once, but this shade, the Golden Goji, is one of my favorites. So there's Golden Goji right there, and that is Pear Prize, I believe is the name of that one. Great wear time on those. I feel like the pear one doesn't have as much like play time as this one does. Like the Golden Goji, I can really take my time and blend out. I felt like I was a lot more rushed with that one. The Almay Cream shadows, this is Cupid Glaze, just this really pretty rose gold, super underrated drugstore product. I mean, the wear time on this is ridiculous. Like, it's gorgeous. It's fantastic, like all on its own. It's wonderful, like layered with other shadows. And then this L'Oreal Brilliant Eyes, that's Diamond Drop. That's one of my absolute favorites. Again, the wear time is incredible. I wear it as like a single, just one and done all the time. And then the Ulta cream shadows are super underrated as well. This is Vintage Beauty, the darker shade. And then this is Game Over, like the more mauvey brown. Gorgeous, gorgeous shades. So those are all of my liquids. And then my just kind of like wand products here. So these two are the KVD Dazzle Sticks. This is Flash Storm and then Lightning Strike. These are some of my favorites. And this formula is so cool. It almost feels like wet when you put it on. But again, it like surprisingly you have some time to play with them and blend them out, and they're gorgeous. They both look fantastic as one and done shades. Then I have the Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks. I have Amethyst and Cobblestone. There's a couple different formulas. This is like a more shimmery formula. This is her matte formula. Lovely, lovely. I mean, I love the formula on both of them. Super pretty. And then the Vive Eye Wand in Camel, which is just gorgeous. Like just this beautiful, beautiful brown. Again, wear time on all of these is amazing. They blend beautifully for being just like stick shadows. So that's what I'm working with there. And then the last piece that we're going to go through is this right here. Let me figure out how we're going to do that. Okay, you guys, I don't know the best way to show this to you. Like, this palette is so ridiculously oversized. I did not read the dimensions on this when I initially bought it, but hey, I actually have filled it up quite a bit, so might not have been the worst mistake I've ever made. But okay, so up here I have JD Glow. These are all Give Me Glow. These are okay, except for, so starting down here, these 4 are from DJ's Unique Boutique. These, everything, what the hell is this? First of all, is this? Oh, okay, so, okay, forgive me. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are from DJ's Unique Boutique. And then everything from like this green over all the way down, even like these bigger pans, these are all ColourPop shadows that I have depotted from just random palettes. I have 2 Melt shadows here from the Mary Jane palette. These are all the shimmers from the Heather Austin. Let me flip this around. That makes more sense. These are all the shimmers from the Adept and Heather Austin collab. And then these are my favorite shimmers from the Nikki Tutorials and Beauty Bay palette, which I finally got rid of, which really kind of hurt my heart. These, I don't know why I'm keeping these. These are just like, these are ABH highlighters. These are from the Nicole Guerrero palette, which I don't know. For some reason, I can't seem to part with them. I don't know, it's stupid. Anyway, ooh, this is a lot to swatch. I'm obviously not gonna swatch the highlighters. I don't even know if I want to swatch all of these, you guys. It's a little bit too much. Feeling kind of overwhelmed just looking at it. But I'm really excited about these. I love my JD Glow and Give Me Glow. I will swatch for you kind of like my most favorite shadows. out of these. Maybe I'll swatch all of these for you. I don't know. Let me see. These are some of my JD Glow. This is Unexpected right here. Love that shade. That green color that's so beautiful is Prismatic. No, wait a minute. Unexpected is this shade. I'm so sorry, you guys. Like this, I'm so sorry. This darker shade, this shade is Fairy Acid. And then this beautiful kind of rosy bronze is Rose Goals. And you know what? I only have 2 more. Let's just swatch these. So pretty. So that pretty gold there, it's almost like gold green, is Limelight. And then the soft pink, which I don't even know why I bought this. It's called Opal. So those are all my JD Glow. Give Me Glow really knows how to do a shimmer as well. A shimmer, a metallic. I don't know if I want to swatch all of these, but I also don't. I'm just gonna swatch for you kind of some of my favorite shades. Now, most of these I bought as singles. However, some of these are from the Vivid Rose palette. I depotted kind of some of my favorite shimmers. Okay, so we have the Lilac shade, which is Pretty Little Lilac. This is one of my favorite shades. I think I've actually filmed with this shade before. It's called Glamorous, and it's just stunning. It's like liquid gold on your eyelid. Then we have, sorry, I don't have the names of these memorized. Spring Fling, which is right there. And then this is one of my favorite shades, this Perry shade. I love Periwinkle. But yeah, so those are some of my favorite Give Me Glow shades. I had to include these. My Beauty Bay Nikkie Tutorials palette was actually really easy to depot, and I think it's just because it's so old, like the shadows just almost fell out of there. So I apologize, I don't know the names to these, but these are just, I mean, I'm in love with like the neutral shimmers in that palette. So had to include those. To be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of the Adept shades. I don't know, I didn't really like that palette. I don't think the Adept formula is like as amazing as kind of what it's made to seem here on YouTube. I don't know, I didn't like enjoy it as much as I thought I would, but I haven't had the palette for that long, and so I thought, I don't know, the shimmers are pretty, they just, no matter what I do, they crease like crazy creasing in just a matter of hours. And I don't really know why I even included my melt shadows in here. I don't know, you guys, I just was decluttering, and I really enjoyed some of those. I really enjoyed these shimmers in the Mary Jane palette, so wanted to include them. Not going to swatch the ColourPop, not going to swatch the highlights for you. So this is what I am working with for my Magnetic Singles palette. And that's it. That is all of my single shadows that I will be focusing on moving forward. I hope this video does not end up being too long. I hope that it was enjoyable. I had so much fun filming again, you guys. I really did. I really have missed being here. So please give the video a like, subscribe. I would love to have you stick around for some more content. But until then, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, beauties.